Hello and welcome back to your second session for reading. In this session, we're going to be looking at comparing information, ideas, facts, and opinions. And this is important because in your endpoint exam, you do have questions about, is this article factual? Is it opinion? Is it whose view is it in? So you must be sure that you're aware of those different types, okay? So let's have a look. The aim and objectives of this session is the learners must be able to examine text for similarities. You must be able to examine the text for differences. You must be able to identify facts, opinions, and options, and ideas. You should be able to understand the different ways this is conveyed in different texts, and you could understand an array of diverse methods of conveyance, so ways of getting things across to people. So, summarizing information from different texts, if we think about the previous lesson we did about skim reading, skimming, scamming, and reading in full text, once you've done that, you need to kind of formulate in your mind, what is it that I've actually read? Is this factual? Is it fictional? Is it someone's opinion? Is it relevant to what I'm trying to find? So if we read articles for an essay writing, we're looking for things like their biasness and people's points of view and where it's come from. And especially more so, now we live in this world of fake information, you should be able to spot that. So level 2, reading papers, you will have one of these questions and how they work varies. So you may be asked to say how texts are similar or how they differ. So looking at texts that are similar or differ, you've got to kind of compare and contrast. You're looking for the two side by side, and you're looking for the same things that they're agreeing on, but ultimately there may be subtle differences in there. So for example, you may have something about a theme park. One person saying this ride's brilliant, but it's not ideal for children. You may have another one saying this ride's brilliant and it's suitable for everybody. So whilst they're similar, because they're both saying how brilliant the ride is, one is saying, look, it's not necessarily suitable for children. The other saying, look, I think it is. Does that make sense? Hopefully. You may be asked to compare the text in order to answer a question. This is often with a compare and contrast. So find the similarities and contrast that with the differences. These texts may look at comparing information, ideas, or opinions, or you may be required to discuss the information that is conveyed. So what is it that you've read? Do give relevant and praise ideas from the text. So make sure in the exam, if you are summarizing information, that it is from the text, that you're not wandering off into your own kind of answers. And do provide direct examples from the text. So don't then add your opinion or your thoughts in. It's got to be direct extracts from that text, okay? Do not use your own knowledge, and do not do your kind of own answers. So where you've just written your whole list of thoughts and feelings and it's not actually relevant to the question. So what the question looks like here is, questions may look similar to this. Explain how all three documents have different ideas about a specific topic. So you may have read 3 documents on the screen. You might have a newspaper article, a journal, and a magazine clip. So you need to explain each of those documents, how they have summarized the information but in their own way. Okay, so that's about you understanding the texts and the differences in them. You may be asked to explain how similar they are. So at that point, you're trying to find the comparisons across them. And again, you may be asked, using the information in these three sources of documents, to explain whether you think X is a good idea or not. So you may have read the documents and you have to decide whether you would or you wouldn't. So for example, we go back to that theme park ride, would you let your child ride that ride? Yes or no, and why? Or you may have to compare and contrast the three documents, which is most likely to make you want to support X and Y. So you've read the documents, you've compared them, but this is what you're saying because, and then you can compare views, info, ideas in a document A with the views and information ideas expressed in document B. And these views are conveyed. So in the NCFE paperwork, their questions are worth 3 to 4 marks. The top marks, examiners expects to see the précises of ideas for all texts with clear examples. So for you to get the top marks in the exam paper, you would have to give, say for example, the top one, the differences about each idea, show your appraisal, show your thought process, and then summarize that. So how to tackle summarizing? Okay, so this is, if it's asking you to summarize, this is what you need to do. It's a good approach to these questions to make it clear make it clear you're understanding the question. So make it clear you understand the question. So sometimes the best way to make it clear that you've understood the question is to paraphrase the question back. So if it says, you know, for example, if it says, explain how all three documents have different ideas, to show your clear understanding, you could say, all three documents have different ideas about blah, 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 blah. So that's showing you that you've clearly understood the question. Explain the information in your own words. So try not to get caught up in language, just try to summarize that information, but in your own words. So for example, if it's about the theme park, just as an example, one writer said, look, it's great, but it's not for kids. You could say, what I took from this was, and that's you explaining it in your own words. Refer directly to each text using short quotes. So if it says not suitable for children, you could put that in quote marks and write not suitable for children. Be precise. You won't get marks for vague answers. So be very direct. You know, in this opinion, the lady said, it's not suitable for children. Great, that's very precise. Make it clear which text you are writing about. So this one's really important. If you've got 3 documents, make sure that you are praising each document. So document 1, this is what was said, this is what I got, this is what I thought about it. Document 2, this is what was said, this is what I got, this is what I thought about it. Document 3, this is what I read, this is what I got, this is what I thought about it. Here is my compare and contrast, and therefore. And then distinguish between informations, ideas, and opinions. So for example, document 1 said she didn't think it was suitable for children. That's her opinion. Document 2 was a review, and she said it was, you know, she felt, she read the guidance, and the guidance said it's okay for everyone. So that would be information. She got the information from the park, and therefore she said, no, anyone can ride this. And in document 3, it might say, well, you know, it's up to you to decide whether you want to or not. And then that would be an idea. Okay, good. So facts, ideas, and opinions. So just so we're very clear on what we mean by this. Facts are established, verifiable information. So for example, it's 185 miles from Manchester to London. Of course, some authors may write incorrect or false information. Ideas and opinions may be very similar to ideas, but often abstract and widely held beliefs. E.g., population is a problem we must all face in society. So that's an idea. And options are more personal, so can be directly attributed to a writer, speaker, or group. I believe a tax on sugar will reduce obesity is an opinion and not verifiable. Verifiable can be checked. Okay, so facts are verifiable. That verifiable information that can be checked. Ideas and opinions are those that are widely believed, and opinions are more personal to that individual. So let's just have a look. So here we've got to match it up. So we've got left-hand side, fact, idea, opinion, and on the right-hand side, the meaning. Is this true? We should give more information, or the minister should resign on Friday. So match the type of text. So a fact is the minister resigned on Friday. It's straight to the point. That's absolutely what happened. An idea, it is held true by scientists that one day we will colonize Mars, and therefore an opinion is we should give more money to foreign aid. Okay, just so we're very clear on that. So when we look about questions about similarity, look at this example and explain how these texts have similar ideas about the environment. So one way these texts are similar is that they all try to encourage the reader to take care of the environment. Document A says that everyone has a duty to look after the planet. Document B says we must do more. And document C says we can save the planet. All texts encourage the reader to recycle. Document A says the reader should always recycle where possible. Document B says recycling is easy, and document C says recycling is the least we can do. Finally, every document suggests the fact that looking after the planet must be seen as a long-term issue. And if we look at what it's put around here, we can see here tells the examiner that you understood the question. So that kind of repeats this back, summarizes the question. Short quotes refer directly to the document. So again, we said the in comma bit. How is the information conveyed here? B, we must do more. This shows the examiner which text we're referring to, and you can paraphrase as well as use direct quotes. So here you can see when we're talking about similarities, how we should be writing our answers and showing that thought process. So we start off almost with an introduction. We then have the three clear points, document A, B, and C. We've used the clear quotes. And then finally, which is the summary bit, finally, every document suggests that's there. Okay, good. So when we think about conveyance and conveying, conveyance means the way the message is put across. For example, look at these two short text extracts. What have we learned from the disaster? Finally, the budget cuts were responsible for the increased coastal erosion. Secondly, over 3,000 more homes in Norfolk are under threat. Finally, the Home Secretary voted against climate change bill. So living as I do on a coastal in Cromer, I can see how much the coastline has reduced. I own in only the last 10 years, and this has been done, and what has been done, absolutely nothing. So the first part of this conveys information in a more objective way. So this bit, what have we learned from the disaster? Firstly, the budget cuts were reasonable for the increase in coastal erosion. Using a more formal language, it presents facts and statistics. Great. The second is a personal account here, which is more emotional and less informative. So we've got two types of things going on here. We've got factual, we've got a bit more objective and formal, and facts. So that is what it is. And then second of all, we've got a personal feeling there. So conveying the message. There are many ways to convey facts, opinions, and ideas. So here you've got different things on the screen here. So you can see we use fact-based language. So as they did, 3,000 homes, informal language, quotations, emotive language. So it's really powerful. Different ways that you can lay out, looking at points, statistics, etc. We've got sensitive language, personal experiences, formal and urgent language. We've got lots of different ways there in which we could convey those messages. So we just have a look at those on the screen. So we've got some examples and then the methods. So again here, if we want to line them up, if we say, let's tackle a problem for the homelessness together, what method would we say that? So let's tackle the problem of homelessness together. And hopefully you would say that's motivational. Then you've got, it is said that the inner and out of the gap of the wealth has considerable something on homelessness. And there we're looking at a formal language. If someone applies for the role, he or she will be required to have an own vehicle. So there we're looking at sensitive language. As a formal engineer, there I can tell you that our equipment has been substandard. So I think that would be the one at the bottom. Personal. Good. The equipment has not been replaced in the statutory 10-year period. So do we think that's factual or casual? So it's fact, good. And I don't know how the facts, I don't know the facts, but I'm pretty sure homelessness is on the rise. So that's casual, personal approach. Good. So now I want us to go to our activity 1. So activity 1, let's go to our session. And we've got our activity 1 question here that I want you to have a go at. Think about the text, think about, oh no, this one, it's just a word search. So we can do the word search there. So this is looks at different ways of conveying the messages. And then you've got, oh no, it is actually a words crossword. That's it. I was thinking word search, not word search, is it? It's crossword. So house prices dropped by 2% in August. So 1 down. Have a think about what that might be. And again, as always, you're going to have the answers on the second page to check your knowledge and understanding. Please do not cheat. It is there for you to help. So just have a look at that. There you go. All right, wonderful. So now let's go back to our conveyances. So here, look at this example again and see how the text is conveyed. So one way these texts are similar is that we're all trying to encourage the reader to take care of the environment. Document A says that everyone has a duty to look after the planet. So that's urgent language. Recycling is easy. Okay, so again, that's casual language. So here you can see an example of personal conveyance. And then here you can see it use short quotes and paraphrasing to refer directly to the document. And then here it shows the examiner which text you're referring to. And if you do a comparison with a specific focus, so look at these examples, you're considering becoming more eco-friendly. Which text is most likely to persuade you? So text A is a most likely to persuade me to more eco-friendly because it backs up with every suggestion and facts, and it gives obviously the percentages here. So this tells you that you've understood the question. The use short quotes and paraphrasing to refer directly to documents conveyed through statistics and facts. Text C, so here you can see this shows the examiner what you're referring to, and this shows an example of paraphrasing. So again, beginning, evidence, summary. Okay, so hopefully you can see as we go through that, it's showing the examiner clear ideas about you looking for the different types of language and where it comes from. So should Britain change its electoral system? So this bit here, text B, is more persuasive text for me as it argues its options well. Okay, so that shows you've read the question. Here, use short quotations and paragraphing. Okay, emotive language as well. Right conveys point with formal language and shows you underlining the initial statement, so showing that you've understood it. So comparing opinions and ideas, great. So when you write your answers, please make sure that you are answering it in this specific way, because you are not going to get the points. Now, I have seen the assessments, I've seen the practice ones, and I know for a fact that if you do not answer this in this specific way, you will not pass the assessment. So please make sure you practice this because it's not the fact that you can't read. I'm sure you can read. It is the fact that you haven't answered the question concisely to as they want it. So you've now not got to go back and try activities 2 and 3. So we can now go activities 2. It's very slow today. And then activities 3. So we just go back to the home page. You can see those. For some reason that doesn't want to work. But anyway, you know where they are. There we are. Let's just bring this up. Okay. So we've got activities 2 and 3. Good, they're there. So let's just see how the marks are awarded in the reading. So award the marks 1. Read the answer and the mark scheme. What would you give? The question was, you are considering becoming more eco-friendly. Which text is most likely to persuade you? Okay, so answer. I would say that document 1 is the most persuasive. I like the way the idea relates to my own life. The other documents aren't directly relevant to me. After reading document 1, I think I would definitely feel confident in being eco-friendly. Now, on the right-hand side, you've got the marking scheme, so you understand how you're going to be marked. There's a total of 4 marks for this question. So 1 mark for provides a brief explanation, 2 marks selects the text and provides detail, 3 marks for selecting the text and a brief explanation, which consists of good consideration of at least 2 texts, and 4 marks selects the text and provides detail and explanation, which contains good consideration for all 3 texts. So if you were to mark that, which mark do you think you would give? So you are considering becoming more eco-friendly, and why? Okay. So using the marking scheme to decide how many marks you would give, compare the views expressed in text 1 and text 4 and how these are conveyed. Oh, I thought that was going to give us a grade. So I think here, when we look at this, you're going to be lucky to get maybe 1 or 2 marks there, right? Award of marks. Yeah. So, because again, you haven't considered all of the documents there. So use the mark scheme to decide how many marks you would give this text deserves. So in text 1, the author claims that young people are doing less and less exercise to increase the interactivity of computer users and quote the fact that the sources of opinions are based on his personal experiences. In text 4, so that's 2 texts there, text 1 and text 4. Just have a read of that. Okay, and here you can see how it's been marked. So the learners responded well, having some mention of at least one of the text and one of the views expressed in text 4, but limited impact impression note. So 1 mark. Compare at least one text and text 4, so you get 2 marks there. So overall, that answer is going to give you 3 marks. So it's much better. So again, summary text 1, summary text 2, and a combination, which would then give you the 3 marks. So what is a summary? Are you all shouting D to me? Because if you are, that's correct. A short version that recounts the major ideas in the text. Good. Question 2. What should you consider in questions that ask you to make a comparison? Are you shouting D at me? Because if you are, you're correct. Details from all the above. So throughout this session, we looked at similarities and differences and identifying facts, opinions, and ideas. And hopefully now, at the end of this session, you should understand different ways to convey this is conveyed, and you should understand an array of diverse methods of conveyance. Remember, go back to your knowledge check sheets, which is further down. So congratulations, you've now completed comparing ideas, information and opinions and how they're conveyed, and hopefully you've understood the marking criteria, so when you see that as an exam question, you'll have a much better idea of how to answer those questions. Please make sure that you go through there, finish off, you've got your reading on there as well, and I wish you all the best of luck. I'll see you in the next one, which is identifying the meaning of text. Wonderful. Take care and bye for now.